quiet desperation? No. In America, it's loud. It's the fake laughs at work, the staged brunch photos, the endless "I'm fine" when you're fucking falling apart. Here's the truth no one likes to say out loud. 42% of American adults reported symptoms of anxiety or depression last year. That's almost half the damn country pretending everything's okay while drowning. Suicide is now the second leading cause of death for people aged 10 to 34. You think that's because we're weak? No, it's because we've been told that feeling anything other than joy is failure. We've built a culture where sadness is shameful, anger is bad energy, and grief makes you negative. So we bury it. We put on the mask, we smile for the photo, and then we wonder why we feel nothing at all. Tell me, when was the last time you actually felt something real?
We didn't just stumble into this culture of forced happiness. We bought it. We fucking paid for it. Somewhere along the way, someone realized there's a lot of money to be made in keeping people obsessed with being happy all the time. And America, the land of infinite markets, turned that into a trillion-dollar machine. Self-help books, influencer morning routines, $200 mindfulness retreats in the desert, apps that remind you to smile every hour like some creepy emotional parole officer. All of it sold to you under the promise that if you just think positive enough, your life will magically feel whole. But here's the dirty truth. It's not designed to make you happy. It's designed to keep you chasing happiness so you never stop buying. The wellness industry in the US is worth over $1.5 trillion. That's not a typo. That's an entire economy built on the idea that you are broken and need to be fixed with whatever they're selling this week. And it works, because they don't just sell products, they sell shame. They tell you that if you're sad, you're failing at life. If you're angry, you're poisoning your vibe. If you're tired, you're lazy. Meanwhile, the reality outside the Instagram filter is brutal. The average American works 1,791 hours a year, more than almost every other wealthy country. We are overworked, under-rested, and drowning in bills that never stop coming. And yet we are told to just be grateful, because at least we have a job. This is not gratitude. This is emotional gaslighting on a national scale. And while you're meditating with your overpriced app, repeating affirmations into the mirror like some creepy emotional parole officer, the clock keeps ticking. Life keeps demanding more from you than it gives back. And when you can't keep up, you don't question the system. You question yourself. You think, maybe I'm not trying hard enough. Maybe I'm not manifesting right. But what if the problem isn't you? What if the whole game is rigged so you'll never win? Let's look at the numbers they hope you never connect. Suicide is now the second leading cause of death for people between the ages of 10 and 34 years old in the US. Think about that. In a country obsessed with good vibes only, young people are literally dying because they can't keep up with the emotional performance we demand of them. That's not weakness. That's the logical result of a society that treats emotional honesty like a contagious disease. You've been taught to curate your life like a marketing campaign, to be the smiling coworker, the unbothered friend, the person who never lets anything get to them. But here's the thing, pretending doesn't protect you. It eats you alive. It creates a version of yourself so polished and fake that you forget what the real one even feels like. And that's the plan. Because the less connected you are to your own emotions, the easier it is to control you. A numb person is predictable. A numb person doesn't revolt. This is why the system loves the lie. It keeps you too busy chasing an impossible high to notice you're being drained from every angle. Your time, your money, your mental health. And the more you smile through it, the more they win. You become the perfect worker, productive, compliant, and quiet. You become the perfect consumer, desperate for the next product that promises to change your life in 3 easy steps. So here's the uncomfortable truth you won't hear from any guru. Constant happiness is not human. It's not even healthy. Your sadness, your frustration, your boredom, your anger, they're not glitches in the system. They're signals. They're proof that you're alive. And the more you try to erase them, the more you erase yourself. The lie that feeds on your smile doesn't just rob you of joy, it robs you of your humanity. And the longer you buy into it, the further you drift from anything real. The question is, how long are you willing to keep paying the price?
In this country, we've been taught to treat certain emotions like they're weapons. Sadness is weakness. Anger is dangerous. Fear is embarrassing. Grief is something you shouldn't dwell on. So what do? We cut those feelings out. We amputate them like they're infections, believing life will be cleaner, neater, more acceptable without them. But the truth is, every time you cut away a so-called negative emotion, you're cutting away a piece of yourself. This isn't just a metaphor. It's visible in the way we talk to each other. Ask someone how they're doing, and you'll get, "I'm good," on autopilot. Not because they are, but because they've been conditioned to believe that telling the truth would be socially inappropriate. We've turned honesty into a fucking liability. And the more we avoid talking about what actually hurts, the more those wounds fester under the surface. We are a nation of emotional amputees, limping through life on prosthetic positivity. We've replaced the raw, messy reality of human feeling with generic smiles and prepackaged phrases, and the cost is enormous. People are lonelier than ever, even while surrounded by hundreds of friends online. We've lost the ability to have deep, uncomfortable conversations without feeling like we're burdening someone. Here's the cruel irony. By avoiding pain, we actually make it stronger. Studies show that repressing emotions doesn't make them go away, it makes them louder. People who consistently suppress feelings are 30% more likely to develop cardiovascular disease. That's not just a statistic. That's proof that this shit is killing us from the inside out. And yet the pressure to stay positive only grows. Think about workplaces. Ever been in one where everyone knows the company is falling apart, but the boss insists on keeping morale up? That's not optimism. That's delusion disguised as leadership. Or think about friendships where you've stopped telling the truth because you don't want to be the negative one. That's not protecting the relationship. That's slowly killing it. We've confused emotional suppression with strength. We praise people who never complain, without realizing that silence often hides the heaviest pain. We admire those who seem unaffected by tragedy, never stopping to ask if maybe they're just too numb to feel anything at all. And we call this resilience, when it's really just emotional paralysis. The danger of this numbness is that it doesn't stay contained. When you shut yourself off from pain, you also shut yourself off from joy. When you block out grief, you block out love. You can't amputate one feeling without dulling the rest. That's why so many people in this country talk about feeling empty, even when nothing is technically wrong. That emptiness isn't a lack of happiness, it's the absence of everything. And emptiness is the perfect environment for control. A person disconnected from their emotions doesn't push back, they don't protest, they don't question why they're unhappy because they've lost the language to even describe it. They become easier to sell to, easier to manage, easier to keep in line, which is exactly why our culture encourages emotional amputation in the first place. You can see it in the way we treat mental health. Sure, it's okay not to be okay now, as long as you say it in a cute Instagram caption with a coffee cup emoji. But God forbid you actually cry in public. God forbid you let people see the full, raw weight of what you're carrying. That makes people uncomfortable. And in America, making people uncomfortable is treated like a moral crime. So we keep playing the part. We keep cutting away the parts of ourselves that don't fit the performance. And slowly, piece by piece, we become less human and more hollow. We become emotionally efficient, like robots. We respond, we produce, we consume, but we don't feel. And here's the thing no one tells you. You cannot cut away parts of yourself forever without losing the whole. You think you're just removing the bad feelings, but one day you wake up and realize you can't even feel the good ones anymore. That's not balance. That's death in slow motion. The question is, how much of yourself are you willing to sacrifice just to make everyone else more comfortable? Because once you've amputated enough, there's no going back. And if that doesn't scare the hell out of you, it should.
Here's the part no one likes to admit. This culture of constant positivity didn't happen by accident. It's not just a quirk of social media or some side effect of modern life. It's a system. And like every system in America, it exists because it serves those in power. The truth is, a smiling, emotionally numb citizen is the dream product. When you're trained to swallow every ounce of frustration, you're less likely to complain at work. When you're told that sadness is weakness, you're less likely to take time off to recover. When you've been conditioned to believe that negative emotions make you ungrateful, you stop questioning the bullshit being fed to you every day. That's when you become exactly what the system wants, the perfect worker. The perfect worker doesn't ask why they're burning out. They don't demand better pay or safer conditions. They just show up, push through, and smile for the company photo. And here's the sick twist. Even your attempts at self-care are monetized. The same culture that works you to exhaustion sells you candles, bath bombs, and overpriced yoga classes to help you recover just enough to get back on the treadmill. They don't want you healed. They want you functioning. And it doesn't stop at work, because once you've been stripped of emotional depth, you're also the perfect consumer. Think about it. If you feel empty inside, what do? You buy shit. You chase dopamine hits through online shopping, subscription boxes, the latest tech you don't need, fast fashion, comfort food delivered in under 30 minutes. It's not because you're greedy or shallow. It's because you're starving for something real, and the only thing this system offers you is stuff. And it's not a coincidence that all the things you're sold as solutions, the fitness programs, the inspirational books, the productivity planners, never actually solve the problem. If they did, you'd stop buying them. So instead, they give you just enough hope to keep you hooked, a little burst of motivation, a temporary high before you crash again and come back for more. It's addiction disguised as self-improvement. The most dangerous part? They've made it shameful to step off this hamster wheel. Quit a toxic job and you're throwing away your potential. Spend a day doing nothing and you're wasting time. Show frustration and you're too negative. It's all designed to push you back into the cycle, because a person who stops producing and consuming isn't profitable. This is why the good vibes only mantra is so damn effective for them. If you believe that all negativity is bad, you'll censor yourself. You'll silence your own voice before it can even challenge the status quo. You'll police your own emotions and call it being positive. And they don't even have to lift a finger. You'll do their job for them. Meanwhile, the numbers keep climbing. Burnout rates are higher than ever. Nearly 77% of American employees report feeling burned out at least some of the time. That's not an individual problem. That's a design flaw in the system. And it's not getting better because fixing it would mean giving people more time, more rest, more control over their lives. And that doesn't make shareholders happy. So the lie continues. You get sold this fantasy where you can balance it all if you just work harder on yourself. And while you're meditating your stress away or journaling about gratitude, nothing changes about the fact that you're still being squeezed dry. This isn't about hating happiness. It's about recognizing when happiness is being weaponized against you, when it's used to keep you compliant, silent, and endlessly productive. The perfect worker. The perfect consumer. But here's the thing no one in power wants you to realize. The moment you stop pretending, the whole thing starts to crack. The moment you admit you're exhausted, underpaid, and unhappy, you open the door to change. And that's terrifying for them. Because a person who feels again is a person who fights back. And a person who fights back is the one thing this system can't afford. There is no polite, comfortable exit from this machine. If you want to feel again, if you want to reclaim the parts of yourself you've been taught to amputate it, you're gonna have to break the rules. That starts with the simplest and most dangerous act in America today: telling the truth. Saying, "I'm not okay," when you're not okay. Saying, "I'm pissed," when you're pissed. Saying, "This isn't enough," when it isn't. But the second you do that, be prepared. People will get uncomfortable. You'll see it in their faces, in the way they shift the conversation, in the way they tell you to look on the bright side. They'll treat your honesty like it's a stain on the tablecloth of their day. That's because they've bought into the same lie you're trying to break free from. And your refusal to play along makes them question the whole damn game. This is the part they don't warn you about. Waking up hurts like hell. You've been emotionally sedated for so long that when the feelings come back, they'll hit you like a flood. The grief you buried, the rage you swallowed, the loneliness you pretended wasn't there. It's all gonna surface, and it's gonna be ugly. But that's the price of being human again. And here's the fucked up truth. Once you start feeling again, you'll notice how much of your life was built to keep you numb. The TV shows you binge to avoid thinking, the pointless scrolling, the small talk that fills the air but says nothing, the fake goals you chase because they're easier than asking the real questions. You'll see all of it for what it is, a distraction. And that realization will piss you off because you'll understand how much of your life was stolen while you were smiling for the camera. Waking up means learning to live without the constant sugar high of fake positivity. It means accepting that some days will suck, some seasons will break you, and there's no mantra in the world that can erase that. It means letting your emotions exist without trying to edit them for public consumption. You stop performing happiness and start living with whatever the fuck is actually there. And something amazing happens when you do that. Your relationships change. The shallow connections, the ones built on surface-level banter and good vibes only, will start to fade. But the ones that remain will be real. They'll be raw. They'll have room for the full spectrum of who you are. You'll learn that the people who can handle your truth are the only ones worth keeping close. You'll also start to see the system for what it is. Once you stop playing the perfect worker, the perfect consumer, you'll see how much of your exhaustion was by design. You'll stop feeling guilty for needing rest. You'll stop apologizing for saying no. You'll understand that the world doesn't fall apart when you refuse to smile for it. And that's when you start to take your life back piece by piece. But here's the choice you have to make. Are you willing to lose the comfort of the mask for the discomfort of the truth? Because once you rip it off, there's no going back. You can't unknow the emptiness you've been living in. You can't unsee the bullshit. And you sure as hell can't pretend to be happy for their benefit anymore. The thing about waking up is that it's contagious. When one person refuses to fake it, it gives others permission to do the same. It cracks the illusion. And if enough people stop performing, the whole culture starts to shift. That's what scares them. Not your sadness, not your anger, your refusal to hide it. So here's the real question. Do you want to keep being a well-behaved emotional zombie, smiling while you rot inside? Or do you want to wake the fuck up and live something real, no matter how messy, loud, or inconvenient it is? Because the moment you choose the second option, you stop being manageable. And for the first time in a long time, you start being alive. If this hit you somewhere you didn't expect, good. That means you're still alive in there. And if you want more of these conversations, the kind that rip the mask off instead of polishing it, stick around. Hit subscribe, hit the like button, not because it feeds some algorithm, but because it tells me and everyone else watching that you're done with the fake shit. You're ready for something real.